have it bad. And some teacher, who really should probably be your hero, says she notices that when you act in school plays or whatever it is you're doing, and you become a character, that you don't stutter that much. And so I guess she makes your parents aware of this, and acting becomes your thing because you don't stutter when you act. Now, explain that to me.
Well, it was a he, actually, the teacher. He was I was about 12, and my stutter was at its peak, I would say. I started stuttering at about 7, and I've learned since, working with this organization that stuttering is actually hereditary, which makes sense because there are a bunch of stutterers in my family.
And it's rare for a woman to stutter. It's mostly men.
It's 1 in 4 stutterers are female.
What is that about, since you know about this?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think they say that about most learning difficulties and speech impediments are predominantly in men.
And you're probably like, oh, great. All men get this, except me. I have it. Were you very aware that you were a stutterer as a kid? Did kids make fun of you in class?
They did. And I was very aware of it. I mean, I was breathtakingly aware of it at all times.
Do you worry as an adult that this could come back, this affliction, that if you get under stress or...
It does.
It does come back. When does it come back?
When I'm on the phone, it comes back because I think it's that pressure to communicate only with your voice.
Yeah.
And so I think anytime I feel under pressure, and actually when I was pregnant, it came back really badly.
Did you go into a panic when you were pregnant and said, oh my God, what is this? Oh, but why when you're pregnant? Do you think
because
it's stress?
I think my diaphragm was so... It was when I was heavily pregnant towards the end. It was like my diaphragm was so constricted and, there wasn't any space in there. So I think I need to be really relaxed and really calm in order to
I mean, that would be the death of your career if stuttering suddenly kicked in. That's a lot of pressure, isn't it?
Well, I just... I've worked with... Now, a bunch of actors who stutter, including Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis, when you did Loopers...
We talked about it,
yeah. He was a bad stutterer, and you guys did Loopers together, another film I love.
Yeah.
And you bond over that, don't you? Because
we talked about it day 1, because I'd written him a letter to try and get him to come and speak at this gala I do every year to raise money for kids who need a scholarship for treatment.
Right.
And he just said, I'm too nervous, because I'm nervous I'm just going to stutter, and...
That's interesting because every time I see Bruce Willis interviewed, he seems to put on almost like this affect of disinterest, and he gets very quiet. Maybe...
And it's a few words. Yeah. He only says a few words.
Do you think that's what's going on?
Yes.
Oh, wow. You see, now that puts it in... I wish he would explain that to people. I'm glad you said that.
No, I mean, I think it's partly him because he's very cool. Everyone else's cool factor just diminishes the moment he walks in the room. But I think that he is innately quite shy as well. But I think stutterers, and I'm guilty of it too, you come up with ways of avoiding it. It's all avoidance tactics.
You mentioned the cool factor. Isn't the hardest part of living in Hollywood, and I know your friends, and I know how,